Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different on the channel for a change. I'm doing a review of the Splatoon 2 art book that, if you recall, I got for my 23rd birthday, so thank you Mum for that, because this is just phenomenal and absolutely breathtaking if you're a big fan of Splatoon like I am. You know, it's got so many different images and concept art and little write-ups about different bits and pieces of like in-universe, in-canon things and why certain things look the way they do, or why they chose a certain style or certain particular way of visualizing a thing because it fits better within the in-universe thing, like, if that makes sense, like the Inklings and the other characters and stuff. It makes it more seamless, and it's just, the level of detail is just unreal. It's a hardback book. This is the front of it, which again, I adore that. Before we've even opened the book, it already looks absolutely gorgeous. And that was the 3 different types of Inklings, boy, girl, and another girl, and different coloured versions of them with different gear and different weaponry and different styles and stuff. Very, very, very cool. Sort of back as well, you've got Callie and Marie at the bottom, and the other 2 whose name, Pearl and Marina, I think. One of them's definitely called Pearl, that one's definitely called Pearl. And then you've got obviously a little bio of what the art book in sort of tales and whatnot, so you can pause the video there if you wanna know what it's about. And it's it's published by Dark Horse, which seems to be a common thing that like a lot of Nintendo art books or Nintendo related big books seem to get released by Dark Horse, which is interesting. Not sure why, but yeah, like pretty sure the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia was by Dark Horse, I think. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, you've got a total of 337 pages. I won't go through all of them, but yeah, it's that's how extensive, is that the right word, or in-depth it is, of a book. You know, I think it's just phenomenal for any aspiring, for lack of a better term, art sort of type people, or people, even if you're artsy, aspiring artists, sort of fashion designers, artists, or game designers sort of thing, you know, because like, look, there is a lot on fashion, you know, of like the different Inkling sort of styles and stuff. There is literally just an image, or there was a page a while ago, with just the different shoes they had a while ago, which I can't, ironically, as usual with these things, I can't seem to find right now. But yeah, I just love the sort of variations of like hairstyle and different colours, and then how it looks different on like the boy character and then the girl character, and just, yeah, like these sort of little sort of sketches they did, and then all the attention to detail is just insane, like absolutely phenomenal. And that, you know, like the boy and the girl like losing animation, like they had to sketch that out, and that, and just all sorts of different pieces of things that when playing a video game you just don't really think about, you know. And then you've also got obviously weapons, you know, your different weapons and how they function as well, and that, you know, like the splat shot and the splat roller and splat dualies, which are a weapon that I quite like myself. Of this recording, it's the 20th of March that I'm filming this on, an hour recording, and as of this recording I've played a total of 300 70 hours of Splatoon 2, and yeah, it's I do quite like the game, you know, and the sort of fashion and the different things and stuff. Oh, these were the bits that were on about the shoes, you know, the sheer sort of variety and detail that they take in just doing different variations of a shoe or something, you know. I genuinely, I'm not a shoe person in real life, as it were, or like, as I say, like a particularly a shoe person, for lack of a better term, but honestly, I like the gear and the different bits and pieces and shoes and fashion and stuff in this game. I've always been quite fascinated / obsessed with that sort of stuff. It's got an in-depth sort of bio about all the different shopkeepers. Your boy Sheldon is here, and that, and the different stages of like just layering them with different bits and pieces, you know, like different badges and buckles and just different sort of iterations of him. It's so, as I say, fascinating to see like the sort of different, all this page be all like, these are all the fine details and all the little different bits and pieces that we went through in developing this character, and then this is the sort of fan art, sort of finished product, as it were, or like this finished product but in this sort of fan arty sort of inktastic, you know, sort of big spread of the main character, and they do that with all the shopkeepers, and then they've got bios on the characters as well. I'd say my only criticism of this book is that if you're not particularly good at reading, like I aren't, because I'm dyslexic, then obviously the text is going to be a bit challenging to read, and that, which is a bit of a shame. Could have been bit bigger text, or maybe had it in different colours, maybe to pop out of the black. I mean, granted, it is in white, so, you know, or if it's on white and it's in black text, so, you know, I guess it makes sense. But then again, you could argue, well, it is an art book, so it's not like you're actually reading a lot of it. It's more to do with the imagery, and the imagery tells you pretty much all of the story, really, in this instance. And then it's nice that, even though this is specifically to do predominantly with Splatoon 2, there is a nice little throwback page to Splatoon 1, and so to break it up, they also even have this like little foily like thing, like sort of page you'd maybe see in certain notebooks, maybe. I just like the sort of uniqueness of this. It's just kind of cool. Just sort of to split it up from Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 1, and then it goes Splatoon throwback, and then, you know, it goes over all these different Splatfests from the first game, which are in-game competitions and stuff, which you have to pick, you know, love or money, you know, Team Callie or Marie, or whatever, or Marie and then Callie, I think. I can't remember now, but then you've also got like these big double page sometimes sort of things, or these big things of like Splatfest Halloween, 2015 Halloween illustration by like a fan, or like, you know, the game, you know, in some instances it's stuff like 1 million copies sold in Europe, sort of thank you sort of illustration, you know. Some of this, like the bits right at the back, these bits are in the, if you didn't want to get this book for whatever reason, or couldn't afford it, or whatever, or couldn't find it, if you are able to pick up the Splatoon 1 strategy guide, I'm pretty sure that has some of these, not all maybe, but some of these images and imagery in the back of that. So there is a little bit of like a crossover between the Splatoon 2 art book and the Splatoon 1 strategy guide, and vice versa, and likewise with the maybe Splatoon 2 strategy guide. I think that might have some concept art, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at Splatoon 2 strategy guide in a while, or the Splatoon 1 strategy guide for a while, to be fair. It goes through enemy types within the single player campaign, Salmon Run, all sorts of bits and pieces. You know, it's a very, very thorough sort of book, and it's just nice to have all these like sort of imagery, images, imagery, and like little piece and nooks and crannies and little pieces of like things that you might only see in a Splatoon match for all of a second, or little things that are in the UI which are right like in certain parts of this book that I was just sort of flicking through it before this review, and yeah, there's little bits on the UI, and there's like little bits on like just like loading screens, and the different like squid, like the 2D drawing of like just the like squid, like that thing, which in my mind at this point is kind of iconic, you know. Imagery, like I see that so often and a lot, that it's just sort of part of my visual sort of whatever the visual equivalent of lexicon almost is, you know, in my mind. Like I see that so often, you know. It's you know, just sort of ingrained in my brain, you know. So and just the level of detail of like in the maps, how there are certain maps where they're in a shopping mall and the textures are flat in the game of just like pizzas and different foods, but in this book they sort of unpack that, no pun intended, and sort of go through, oh, we had these things there and that thing there, and this is what the 2D or the sort of more 3D-ish sort of version of that would look like, or the packaging would look like, and that, or like a little funny bit of like, oh, and this shopping mall actually uses more carbon footprint and or emissions or whatever than a theme park, and that, which I thought was funny. Or there's so much food in here that people who shop here, the Inklings that shop here, actually share a lot of the food with other people, because there's just so much of it. You know, I think it's a treat and a delight for anyone who's, as I say, wanting to get into sort of art, or is artsy, or into game design, or likes just generally like sort of this colourful, vibrant-y world, or whatever, you know, or likes this sort of like 90s sort of punk, sort of, oh, not punk, but sort of 90s skater slash sort of, you know, neo sort of Japanese sort of style that Splatoon's going for. I think you'll like it, and likewise with the fashion angle, and then there's the weapons and the world as well. If you're interested in like more like landscapey pictures and imagery and visual world building and that through, or visual or world building through art and drawing and sketches, then again, I think this is the book for you. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe.